All right, let's continue talking about code spaces, CS50, and the programming language C. In the last video, I did a walkthrough of some of the big ideas and kind of this transition from Scratch to CS50's C language. We're now officially in week 1, and you can certainly follow along in notes, slides. You're welcome to watch the video, although it is 2 hours long. But in week 1, there are a number of new items, including shorts, small video segments that review new, bigger concepts. And you'll see we have data types, operators, conditional statements. Those are also in the chapters already throughout the video. So again, if you explore this, you can kind of see some of those things. This lecture is going to take us a few weeks to kind of get through. So even though it's labeled week 1, it's actually going to be a lot more time. And then to get what we're talking about, we go to week 1 problem sets. And from problem set 1, you'll find the items that we're doing. So we're going to focus on hello world and the hello it's me. I've also outlined for you kind of big idea, big objectives in part 1 and part 2, so that should be cleared up in Veracross and Canvas for you. But here's the kind of the big to-dos, or the getting to knows. Here are the specifics that we're going to try and do today, and some of the outlines of individual steps broken out in great detail. Okay, so look at this week 1 part 1 and week 1 part 2 and review those items. In week 1 part 1, I spent some time to make sure that I bold and underline some things that I want you to know about. I'll go back and do that in this check 50 and submit 50 part. But you see, for example, what is a slug? That's a question that I'm going to ask, and that you should understand that this is actually the slug. It is the second part, or it's really the directory structure of where to find the rules when check 50 is running and submit 50 is running. So when you run check 50 and submit 50, you'll add what's called a slug. And the slug can be found at the bottom of the page of any one of these problem sets. So for example, we did hello world in class, and there's a lot of kind of information we're jumping through. But at the very bottom, you'll find how to check for correctness in your problem set question. So what we did was a very simple and straightforward hello, but we'll follow it through again. And you'll see that there are things like a interactive demo that shows, in this case, that we're going to, when we make hello and /hello, that you'll see hello world just in that little automation. There's another neat thing called hints in here to check out as well. So that's in Canvas and due on the 30th. So we'll go back to code spaces here for just a moment and talk a little bit about this environment. And notice that I've got a blank editor screen. I've got a blank terminal window or pane in the lower half here, and I've got my file explorer. And as always, you should be able to move or slide around those pages as you see fit. So there's nothing here, but if I go over to the left and click on hello, I can see how the editor has popped up, hello.c, here in the window. And if I /hello, too much clicking here, I accidentally hid this. So I'm in terminal. Here's my prompt, the $sign. If I /hello, what will happen right now? What you should see is an error, because our $sign prompt says that we're in this parent folder, or the top level folder, and our file, hello.c, is in the folder inside that called APCSP. So if I was to try and run the program, it cannot find the file. So how do I get into this folder with the same command line? Well, again, I'm going to change directory and then name the directory that I want to change the terminal focus into, and that is APCSP 2526. But I can just start typing the first few letters, and the Linux or Unix operating system will allow us to auto-complete that path. Now, if you have two folders with similar letters at the beginning, you have to make sure that you use at least enough letters to show the uniqueness there. Okay, notice how my prompt has now slid over to the left with the file folder showing here in the prompt. So when I type ls, notice that I've got hello.star, which is the executable or running version that we've already compiled, and hello.c, which is our source code, which we see up here. So again, /hello, and it says hi there from the last compile. But if I look at the problem set, this wanted us to type hello world, and notice punctuation, a lack of exclamation, etc. So we're going to have hello, comma, space, world. So I'm going to modify this, hello, comma, space, world, all lowercase, no exclamation marks. And now that I've changed it, we're going to do change it, make it, slash it. So we've changed it. So we need to make it. Let me just clear this again. Not required every step, but just easier to see in the video. Make hello. And not seeing anything is a good sign because we're not seeing errors. So then /hello, hello world. Okay, now that we think we've got it working to the point where we want it, let's go back to the problem set on the CS50 page and scroll down. After we verified some of the steps, etc., right? You'd normally read through all these steps and make sure that we're going to do what's called check for correctness. So I'm going to copy the command for check50 and the corresponding slug. That is the pathway that I need. I'll go back to my editor and I'll paste it in. Check50, CS50 problems, hello world. I'm going to scroll up this window because there's a lot going to happen here in the next minute or so, and you need to kind of see and play with this and verify this will work. This may require you coming for a little extra help to get this running the first time. When I hit enter, it's going to connect with the CS50 server. Then it's going to make sure that you're logged in. It's going to verify and prepare the file, and then we'll literally upload it to submit50.cs50.io. And then it's going to score you based on its feedback. Now, this first round, all it's going to look for is 3 items, and you see those in green. They've successfully passed. Hello.c, does the file exist? And that means, are you running the check50 from the same folder that it has the file? So if he doesn't even see the file, then we have a problem. Let's do that, for example, cd ... So cd ... goes up one step, up now into this folder. If I type ls, I do not see hello. If I paste that command again and try and run it, right away it says, oh, you seem to be missing this file. And look, it even helps us. You're in this workspaces. Did you perhaps intend to be in another directory? So yes, I want to go back to, let me clear the window. I'll pull it down just a little bit. I'm going to go cd, apcsp, I'll hit tab to autocomplete. Now I type ls. Aha, I see that hello.c is there. This seems tedious, but you will have this error. You will run into this problem. So there's a point of practicing it 10, 15, 20 times over and over. We're going to paste in the check50 now. It's going to go through that verification step. If it's been a minute, it might go through all these steps again. It's going to run the test against our results and give us again in green. Does it compile? Let's see if we can break other pieces. So if, for example, I remove the closing curly bracket, and I'm going to change this to hi world. Well, let's make it howdy world. Okay. And run it. You'll see that howdy world will throw an error for me. And we're right back at the beginning. So what we're trying to do is just learn how to read this feedback in the check50 syntax, right? Seeing the upside down frowny face, whatever you want to call it, it's expecting hello world. Now it doesn't always give exactly because notice it cuts it off, right? But it clearly identifies where there might be a problem here in the difference between howdy and hello. Okay, let's assume that we got that working, and we'll go over to part 2. Hello, it's me. How did I get there? Curriculum, week 1 C, scroll down, problem set. Again, there's all the lectures, the slides, the notes. Here's a bunch of sections or shorts. Might be helpful to look at command line too. I'm in problem set 1, so it's a whole set of problems, but right now you're only assigned 5 and 6, which is hello world and hello it's me. I'm going to go into hello it's me, and they give you a nice little video from Adele. Then they explain the problem that you're trying to solve, give you an animation, and notice it's different. When we run /hello, it asks, what's your name? It leaves the cursor hanging right there for you to type in, and then it says back, oh, hello, Adele. I'll pause it on that. So let's see how you're going to create this. If you scroll back up, notice there's a collapsed area of hints, and it's referring to a new helper file and a new command or function that needs CS50.h to run. So get string implies that you can get or collect a string from the user, but should the computer remember to store that and then later print that out with this %fs substitution? So yes, you can go back to the lecture, or you can come down here and see how Brian has created a walkthrough and given some samples throughout. So take 3 minutes and watch this example and see if you can come up with the solution. Follow these instructions carefully in the how to begin, and notice my folder structure over here. My file is still called hello.c, but it's actually in a different folder. Okay, I've also added some clues in this screen, so take a second, see what you see and how you might add those. Have a go at this. Before you jump to looking for solutions, try and figure this out. But the clues are here that I need to include a new file called CS50, but it is a type of helper file, so follow the format. Then we'll use the getString command. It's a function, not like f, so it's going to have parentheses after it. Is it going to have anything inside of it? Save this to a new variable. We'll call it name. It doesn't really matter the variable name because it only the check50 only checks to see if your output is correct. So it's going to type in a name and make sure it gets that name back with the right format. So again, go back to the instructions, take your time, go through it, pay attention to the output for Adele and for David. Make sure that your output is going to be hello, comma, and then whatever that variable is. But how do you substitute that in and make sure that you've got things in the right spot? Look for the clues, try things out, watch the videos. You can do this. Don't forget to check and submit 50. And notice that your slug will change between part 1 and part 2. That is, you've already done hello. For hello me, your slug is going to be slightly different. Problems 2025 X me. If we go back, problems 2025 X world instead of me. So there is a difference. It's a different slug. All right, you got this. Just take time to think. Try it out. First, try it on your own. Then go to me. Do not go to Google. Do not go to AI. You know this. All right, you can do this. Good luck.